A pleasant good morning, world. A pleasant good morning, Jamaica. You're here with the first episode from Voice of the Garrison TV. We're here just highlighting some social issues for Jamaica, kickstarting our series with this title, Out of Many, but Ruled by One Set of People. Now we can, take out that one word ruled and use several different terms: oppressed, controlled, misled, etc., etc. But let's not get distracted. Alright, so we're kickstarting our journey with two definitions. So we're just highlighting, two social classes in Jamaica, the uptown social class, and then we're going to go towards the downtown environment. And then, at the end of the video, we'll try to highlight or decipher if there's such thing as a middle class, and then we'll try to wrap our brains around if a middle class does exist, and if it does exist, what is the middle class, here in Jamaica and internationally. All right, so for uptown, right, and as for the definition that we created here, the team here at Voice of the Garrison, this just was a definition that we came up with. This was something that we developed. It's not accredited. This is our opinion. So let's go ahead. Uptown, a state of awareness. In this environment, individuals are privy to the knowledge that life is beyond earning. They are aware that it's not just about getting the best managerial position, but rather positioning the economy. These individuals have been afforded access, which is the key difference. Access to capital, resources, and an audience. They are aware that generational wealth is the aim, and to do that, they cannot afford to focus on the hype, but bottle that energy and market it to you. Alright, so let's break that down in a nutshell, right? So let's get into it. Uptown. What is uptown? Red Hills is uptown. Cherry Gardens is uptown. Upper St. Andrew is uptown. AISK, Hillel, etc. Let's get into that. So uptown here in Jamaica is an idea that people outside of that environment generally create for themselves, thinking that, this is how it is and that is how it is, and uptown this and uptown that, etc., etc. But in hindsight, and even just looking at the media, we don't have to go far, because everything is available for us to look at and look at, and then just relate to in layman's terms. Uptown children, the work that they had to put in to achieve or be where they are right now, it was work, and they had to put in work. However, it was made easier for them. The path that they had to walk was not the same path that other children in Jamaica might have to walk. So when you see an uptown youth living the chopper lifestyle, or living the lifestyle where it's being portrayed in the music, and you're telling yourself that justifies that as a ghetto youth. So me and the uptown youth, they were driving the same car, we're in the same lane, we're at the same party. So that means that I made it in life. And that is one of our biggest facets as a nation. Just trying to justify the ends by the means, saying that, okay, because they did that or they're doing that, that is success. This is what I should aspire to be. Right? So that is where our mindsets gets entangled. But you can always give me opinions in the comment section. Tell us where we're wrong and show us a different point of view from your perspective on what the uptown environment is. Alright? So we're moving on from the uptown aspect of life, from the upper echelon of Jamaica, and we're going to the Garrison. Right? So again, our opinion, this is not accredited, this is not something provided by Oxford, this is not anything provided by UWI, this was merely generated opinion. So you can always drop a comment, drop a like, let us know your opinions, take the journey with us, pick our brains, drop the questions so we can answer them. Garrison. So a garrison, a state of mind defined by harsh environmental factors which are generally predetermined for occupants. This mentality, though tragic for some, proves financially lucrative for others. And these others ensured this mentality is preserved, i.e., that is through media, materialism, or pure ignorance. Now, we just start it off simple. Supreme Ventures. traveling in Upper St. Andrew, traveling in the upscale part of Jamaica, it's hard for you to gamble. It's hard for you to get a single stick of cigarette. It's hard for you to get a special. You understand? You have to go to the supermarket or you have to go to the dispensaries and get these things in bulk. So you have to can afford that lifestyle, to live that lifestyle up in the upper echelon of or up in the upscale society of Jamaica. Here in the Garrison, one little ghetto community, there's 6 Supreme Ventures outlet generating $500,000 capital each per day. There's single sticks of cigarettes, special, and boom, all of these big corporations profiting off of the Garrison that they say contributes nothing to the country and provides no financial, there's no financial benefit from the Garrison, or so it is portrayed. But, we know different, right? So our minds, the Garrison, the minds, that's what's beating the people of the Garrison. Because you see, coming from the Garrison and thinking like the people of the Garrison are two completely different things. Because they're Jamaicans right now in high society who lived their entire lives. Even up until this point, they're still residing in the Garrison, and you could never assume that. You could never tell that. So yes, there's an issue with the Garrison mentality, the hooligan mentality, the free mentality, the hand-me-out mentality. That's an issue. And that issue helps to set the nation back. And you see, the mindset is what we have to change. Because the upper scale children, even though they might do the same things, like the same things, enjoy the same things, their mindsets are different. They're always steadfast on thinking on the future. So at no point in time they're willing to spend their last to prove a point. But us, or rather the less fortunate, the middle class, the lower class, we have a point to prove. So we would use our last and try to make a show of it. When the Chinese come here, Mr. Chin wear the one white shirt for the whole entire week. And you say, Lord, Mr. Chin, you can't bathe. You're greeny, man. Mr. Chin don't even care about that because it's the mindset. He has a vision for his children. He's trying to make his children profit from this so that our children can come and work for him, right? So it's the mentality that separates the Garrison from the uptown. It's not the board house zinc fences. It's not the privileges of life, though that plays a major factor. Mentality is the key thing that is keeping us down. And those in high society know this, right? Because that is the reason why they will take the least out of the less the man don't have no sense. The man that does like what? They will take him up, make him rich, give him all the fancy things, give him all the fancy cars, and then the educated one is going to envy him and say, what no one? Back at class, I have no subject with me 18 subject. That is the slogan for the man that is no educated, and see the one that was at the back of the class being more beneficial than him in the society. I'm going to say, but what I'm doing is wrong and what he's doing is right, and I need to follow. So it's mentality. It's our mentality that is holding us back. But again, everything is subject to opinion. These are our opinions. None of this is factual. We don't have any evidence or statistics to prove this, but we're opening the door for conversation, for us to have a conversation as a nation. Because if we don't start having these conversations, no, our kids are going to grow old and ask why we weren't having these conversations, because they're going to see these things clearly. Things that we never understood until we were 10, 15 years old. Or children understand these things when they're 2, when they're 1, when they're 5, because information is so accessible. So while information is accessible, we need to have these conversations as a nation. We need to open the doors where we're talking about these things as people. Because if we don't do that, our future is dim. Because remember, while there is freedom of speech, all we can do is talk. So we need to open our voice up and just open the door so that we can have meaningful and substantial conversations. So just touching the point on Garrison and the upper scale part of Upper St. Andrew of Jamaica. Again, this is a series. We intend to come with several videos per week so that we can open the door for conversation. So we're trying to keep this one very short. We don't want to go over we don't want to pass 15 minutes for this first one. So keeping it, brief. So we briefly touched the Garrison, briefly skimmed over Uptown. Middle class. Is middle class a thing? Is there such thing as a middle class? Well, that's an idea. And again, these are our opinions. None of this is factual. But let's think and let's pick each other's brains. You're in the middle class, you own a house, you own a car, you have 3 children. God forbid you pass on. Them children, they turn 18. Oh, the bigger one are going to say, I'm born first, so him forget it. The younger one is going to say, well, mommy have lost, mommy sure more love, so it's mine. So that's an issue. One health issue takes away $10 million out of the bank account, takes you back to ground zero. That investment that you had in the fixed account, the fixed investment, you're going to have to pull it to the one surgery. And you might don't do it for your mother, you might don't do it for your kids. But what happens when it's your health? So the idea that they feed us of a middle class that we can live and sustain, being in the middle and there's such a thing, it's just a facade. You're only rich or you're poor, and the Bible tell you that. The Bible never tell us you're only there's an in between. No, there's no low. You're either hot or you're cold. You're either rich or you're poor. So from our perspective, there's only uptown and downtown. And anyone living in the middle is just living a facade, because all it takes is for you to miss 2 paychecks for you to be down in the poor section. God forbid. What happened in Haiti a couple of years ago when they had that massive earthquake? A lot of middle class people went poor, dirt poor. The rich remained rich, because while that was happening, you have rich people that say, hey, get me the helipad, hey, send the private plane, come, hey, take me here, hey, take me to Trinidad, hey, fly me to Jamaica, hey, get the, etc. So while these are things happening that the middle class man might be okay on a day-to-day basis, when it comes dire situations, when it becomes life or death, when it becomes economy breaking down, mashing up, it just comes down to you either being rich or poor. So this is our series, kickstarting it out of many, but led by one set of people. We'll talk soon.